Hey Janine, how are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you.
Cool, cool. It's really funny. I gave you a whole diatribe on my purpose behind doing these and all that
Mhm.
stuff. So hopefully that's cool, and hopefully, the more of these we do, people will get that, and then
Mhm.
my calendar will be booked with faith-driven entrepreneurs that want to connect with each other and connect each other with each other, and will transform lives in the name of the kingdom. So. Um, all that stuff aside, I'm curious to understand, and I'm always curious with people, like,
Mhm.
what drives you? What motivates you
Mhm.
to do what you're doing? And tell us what you're doing, but what motivates you to do that? Like, where's the passion and conviction come from?
Yes, absolutely. So, a little bit about myself, and thank you so much for inviting me to your platform. I was so excited when I saw that invitation that you put out broadly, and I said I have to be a part of it, whatever this is. Let me come aboard. And so, thank you so much for the invitation. So, I am a transformational author, speaker, and coach. And I have published books. I have a published children's book series. I have an adult relationship book that's out there. It's called The Breakup Boss: How to Break Up with Toxic People and Mindsets That Keep You Down. And I'm a life and relationship coach, meaning I help people find their purpose and get relationships right. One thing my mentor says is you can't get life right if you get relationships wrong. So that is an area that is really big that affects every part of what we do. I heard Miles Monroe say years ago before he passed away is show me the five people that you're around, I'll predict your future. So we want to make sure, I want to make sure that people get that part of their lives correct. And so, yes, I do speaking events, but my newest venture right now, which motivates me, I have a heart for women. I have a heart to see women grow, godly women grow. So I recently launched my new women's group. It's called Glow, and Glow stands for Godly Ladies Overcoming Worldliness. So it's called Glow Up. And so as we grow up, sometimes it's hard for us to grow because we're trying to do it by ourselves. So if we have the support of like-minded people, that makes that journey a little bit more bearable, I would say, and a little bit easier when you know that somebody else has gone through exactly what you've gone through.
Wow. Okay. So I'm gonna have to take a moment to step back because there's so much
Mhm.
that I want to ask you now. You
Okay.
said so many trigger words. You said toxic relationships. You said Miles Monroe.
Yeah.
Anybody who knows who he is and what he's about,
Hmm.
we're friends. We're
Okay.
friends already. Like if you know that, we're
Talk to me.
friends.
Talk to
We're
me.
friends. Um, and relationships,
Mhm.
right? Oh, okay. So I gotta be a good host and ask you.
Okay.
This is important work. I heard you say glow up, and you're helping women transform and glow up. How do you stay motivated and continuing doing this work when it gets hard and
Mhm.
when it takes longer than expected? Because
Mhm.
I know in this type of work,
Mhm.
the enemy does not want this work to go forward. So how do you stay the course? Because I know it's not been easy and I know it's not going to be easy.
Right.
How do you stay grounded and on course?
Yes, that is such a great question, and that's going to be my constant struggle. But what is keeping my anchor grounded is that I am being coached, I am being mentored. I do have now that support system around me that I have identified, clearly identified, and it has taken me years to get there. So my motivation in this work to keep going is that I'm like, man, a lot of times it's 2020 vision. We learn our lives in reverse. And I'm like, wow, if I had known that 10 years ago, if I had made that pivot at that moment of who I was in relationship with, and that's friendship, that's romantic relationship, that's across the gamut, business relationship, I would be in a different place. So my motivation is if I already know that there's a pitfall 3 miles ahead, I'm going to put that sign up detour for you so that you don't fall in there and spend 3 years trying to get out of a hole that I know is there. So yes, a lot of times imposter syndrome comes up where my old me wants to step in front of the new me that's walking in purpose now and like, nope, don't do it, don't say it, just chill to the back. And I don't want that. And I know that had not a Miles Monroe spoken out, had not a Dr. Darius Daniels spoken out, had not all of these great motivators and inspirational speakers and pastors and mentors, had they kept their message quiet, I literally would not be where I am today. And so I'm like, I am compelled to speak out.
I have these Elzieisms that I have that I wrote a book a few years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the Elzieisms is be open to being shaped. So I hear what you're saying in terms of relationships and coaching and
Mm-hmm.
fellowship and how important that is. But I'm curious, what was the moment, right, where the fire went off and you said, okay, this is something that women need
Mm-hmm.
in terms of a faith-based community?
Mm-hmm. I would say this is something that has been on my heart for a few years now. Full transparency here, I allow myself or what I envision the version of me look like, what to be that. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm now a single woman. So a lot of my purpose projects, I told myself I can only do them being a married woman. So that was the narrative I had in my head to say, okay, I need XYZ to be happening in my life for me to do these things. But God was like, that's your plan. That's not my plan. You were birthed alone, and I put a plan and a purpose inside of you, regardless of these outside factors. And so it was just coming to, the end of myself saying, I need to do this. I am too full and I've got to empty this out.
Now, the last question, and then tell people to reach out and connect.
Mm-hmm.
Why in the world? How in the world did you self-publish 13 books?
Well, that's a great question. I was waiting to be published. I didn't know how to get published, to be honest with you. I just kept writing books in my creativity journal, and then the internet happened. Then all of the, access, that barrier to entry came down, and I learned that I could self-publish, and I, got an illustrator that illustrated my books for me, and the rest is history. I'm off to the races. I have 2 new devotionals coming out before 2026 is over, and I'm super excited about those. And they're going to be self-published. I own my copyright, I own my rights, I own my imaging, I own my market, I own all of it, and I don't have to change the message. So that is why I continue to self-publish.
Jeanine said, I own everything, so you can't tell me what to say. That's amazing. Well, listen, I appreciate your time, and we're going to put your information somewhere. I don't know where it's going to go yet because, like I told you before, this isn't a podcast. This isn't, I don't know what it is, but we'll have your stuff somewhere so people can connect with you. And again, we appreciate it. I hope that you're blessed. I hope and I pray that God answers your prayers, and I pray that His will is comes into alignment with yours, and that it flourishes and transforms lives as it is intended to do. So, folks, reach out to Jeanine, connect with her, buy all of her books because she owns everything, and it will bless her life. So, thanks again, Jeanine, and for you guys, check you out on the next connection.